For those that aren't familiar, he's the 5-star running back according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. He is a freak show athlete. He is an elite talent, and his recruitment has been just bonkers. And no one's been talking about him because we're sort of waiting for him to just land somewhere. He's a 2020 guy. The rest of that class is in the books. And Zach Evans, I don't know if you want to run through the chronology. Maybe I can. Who wants to take this?
If you want to kind of go, Chris Hummer had a pretty good.
Yeah, he had a great story on it.
I'll pull that up here so we don't miss. But Zach Evans, he titled it Zach Evans' all-time crazy recruitment is over finally. So basically, between December 21, 2019, and January 7th of 2020, Evans was sent home the night of the 6A state championship game after he reportedly refused to give up his cell phone, breaking team policy. It was his second suspension of the season. Look, that's a pretty big deal to not play in the 6A state title game in the state of Texas. His team still won pretty easily, I believe. Evans announced he had signed during the early signing period, but did not reveal the team. We all kind of learned that it was Georgia, and then Georgia let him out of his letter of intent, basically just didn't turn it in, right? And said, no,
and Georgia was an off-the-wall pick to begin with, too. He wasn't even really publicly considering Georgia, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, he's signed with Georgia, of all places. So that, I think, in and of itself was kind of crazy.
So he also, in between there, he kind of issued that weird apology on live TV where the people doing the interview really, and it's awkward anyway to have a high school kid doing an apology on live TV when almost nobody in the audience knows what he's apologizing for, or most people don't. But they really didn't ask any follow-up questions either, so it was kind of just, very very obtuse. And then he ends up going to TCU. And if I had given you 5 guesses on Thanksgiving about where Zach Evans was going to end up, would TCU have been any of your 5?
No, it wouldn't have been. Now, I will say if you'd given me 5 guesses in April where he had landed, I didn't even know TCU was in the mix, but I might have just guessed them. Because the thing about Zach Evans is every time you talk to someone in the know about his recruitment, there was always some random new team that was now the one he was favoring or was the one he wanted to visit. And so it was totally unpredictable the way this recruitment would go. But after signing day, Texas A&M would have made a lot of sense for Zach Evans for a lot of reasons. But at some point they filled up. I can't remember if it was before or after signing day they filled up. But ultimately they didn't have a spot for him. Some of the other programs, Georgia had sort of moved on after the issues they had behind the scenes. LSU had basically moved on after he was perceived to be a favorite to land at LSU late in the process. Texas, I don't know how much Texas pursued or if they had a scholarship available, but that never was really seeming to connect. And so there at some point it was just sort of well, where can he land? Who even has a spot for him? Who's held out available to take him? And it always made sense that he lands somewhere back in the state of Texas. So I didn't have a beat on this. I didn't know TCU was sort of positioning to land him. But in retrospect, it does make sense. He's going back to Texas. It's a program that has taken some chances on guys in the past, and it's panned out. And this is a kid that, as flaky as he is, that's really ultimately what it is. It's sort of a flakiness to him. I don't think anyone necessarily thinks he is a bad kid. He's not a very focused kid, and he is someone that the knock, if anything, has just been sort of this: how much does he love football? So if Gary Patterson and that crowd can get him focused, motivated, keep him on track, he is the most talented running back in this class and one of the more talented running backs we'll see in any class. And so it's going to be fascinating to see what the outcome here is.
If running back still mattered in the NFL as far as the draft, if this was 10 years ago, he's a no doubt 5-star for us. I think even with the behavioral stuff and sort of I don't want to say behavioral stuff because I don't want to imply he's a bad kid, but just if he had his head screwed on a little straight, a little more focus consistently, I think he probably still could have been a 5-star for us. But with those combinations of things, right? We really want to project our 5 stars to be first round picks. And I mean, Edwards-Helaire was barely a first rounder this year. We've had some recent years with no backs. We've seen the trends that, combined with him maybe not always loving football that much, leads him to be our 33rd rated player in the top 24/7. So basically the first guy out for us. Like, despite all that, we still love this kid's game. I mean, I think his stop start relative to his size. I mean, he's probably 210. He's a thick dude. He can run through arm tackles. He can catch the ball some. When he plays hard, man. If TCU gets him on the field consistently, I don't think there's another back on that roster who starts over him, unless he just can't pass protect at all or something like that. Because natural ability wise, I mean, he's the guy in that 2020 class running back.
Yeah, I mean, and the production is there. You know, he averaged, I think, over 12 yards a carry or something, pretty absurd. Played at a high level, big games. But look, he's been suspended a few times. He's been, he's missed one semifinals. I think he missed like the first half for taking his ACTs or just a lot of just weird stuff like that. That look, we just kind of got to see how it plays out. But certainly a big get for TCU, and probably in a lot of ways, it's sort of like, what do they have to lose? Like, why not take him? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does, this is the type of talent that doesn't often commit to TCU. And they lose Darius Anderson and Shewo Lanalua, 2 really good backs in this class. So the opportunity is certainly there. So I'm kind of excited. Frankly, I'm kind of excited that's where he landed, because it could work out. I think there's a lot of places he could have landed where it didn't really make a lot of sense. This one does, in terms of the opportunity there, the coaching staff there, and the talent. So, let's see if he gets out on the field next fall.